You are 34 years old. You are sitting on a park bench on a Tuesday afternoon. The sun is warm on your neck and the city is loud around you, but for the first time in your life, the noise feels like it belongs to someone else. Across the street, people are hurrying. They are clutching briefcases, checking watches, and frowning at their phones. They are late for meetings they don't want to attend, working for people they don't particularly like, to buy things they don't actually need. 10 years ago, you were one of them. Today, you are invisible. Nobody noticed when you escaped. There was no grand party, no sold sign in your yard, no luxury car parked in your driveway to announce your arrival. In fact, if your neighbors were asked, they'd probably say you were struggling. They see the 10-year-old gray Corolla in your driveway, and they offer you the names of mechanics who work cheap. They see you wearing the same 3 jackets for 5 years, and they assume you're one flat tire away from a disaster you can't solve. They don't know that you've already won. They don't know that you haven't needed to work for your survival in over 3 years. This is the story of how you bought yourself back, one boring decision at a time. The day you stopped buying permission. You are 24. You are standing on a used car lot in the rain. A salesman in a polo shirt that is one size too small calls you boss and tries to steer you toward a black BMW. He tells you the payments are nothing. He tells you that a man your age needs a car that says something about where he's going. You look at the BMW, then you look at a 2013 gray Toyota Corolla with a dent on the bumper. It's plain. It's quiet. It's the color of furniture. You remember what your father's friend Frank told you over lunch. He said, "Most people don't buy cars. They buy permission. Permission to feel successful. Permission to be seen. Permission to stop asking themselves who they really are." You realize the BMW is a $600 a month subscription to an identity you haven't earned yet. You pay $9,400 cash for the Corolla instead. That night, you sit at your kitchen table with a piece of paper. You do math that most people your age never do. Not the math of this month's rent, but the math of your whole life. You decide that the very first bill you pay every single payday is to the future version of yourself. Before the landlord, before the grocery store, before the gas station, you pay you. Your friends don't understand. Your coworker Greg pulls into the office lot in a new Audi he can't afford and asks if you lost a bet when he sees your Corolla. You smile and say nothing. You aren't playing his game anymore. You've started a different race, one where the leaderboard is hidden in a drawer in your kitchen. The $10,000. Silence. You are 26. You have been skipping the new phone upgrades. You've been driving the same car for 2 years. You eat at home on Friday nights while the group chat blows up with photos of $100 steak dinners. You hit your first milestone, $10,000 invested in a boring dividend ETF. Most people would see that $10,000 and see a vacation to Bali or a down payment on a truck. You see something else. You see $400 a year in dividends. It sounds small. Greg at the office laughs when he sees the ticker on your screen. $400? That's one dinner, bro. But you do the math. That $400 pays for your Netflix, your Spotify, and your phone bill for the entire year. For the first time in your life, you have a dollar that wasn't traded for an hour of your time. You didn't sit in traffic for those dollars. You didn't pretend to listen in a meeting for them. You slept, and the money arrived anyway. You click the reinvest button. Nobody sees it. Nobody claps. You are becoming furniture in the eyes of the world, safe, quiet, and completely ignored. The weight of pity. You are 28. The Corolla has 112,000 miles on it, and the driver's side door takes 2 pulls to close. Rachel from accounting walks past you in the parking lot. She drives a newer Camry, and she stops to ask if you're okay. "If you need a loan, honey, just ask," she says. "We've all had hard years." You aren't having a hard year. You have $91,000 in your account, but you realize that in the world's eyes, wealth is loud and poverty is quiet. Because you are quiet, they assume you are failing. It hurts. Pity hurts more than mockery. You watch your brother Jordan lease a $500 a month Acura. He looks like a polished black bullet when he pulls up to family dinners. Everyone claps for him. Everyone asks him for career advice. Nobody asks you anything. You feel like you're falling behind. In a race everyone else is running, you lie awake wondering if you're the idiot. Maybe you're giving up your good years for a spreadsheet that nobody will ever see. But then you look at your account. You hit $100,000. That money now pays for every egg, every loaf of bread, and every cup of coffee you consume in a year. You walk through the grocery store and realize somebody else is buying this for me. You realize that while Jordan looks like he's winning, his phone is buzzing with bank notifications he's afraid to check. He is drowning in a way nobody can see because looking like he's swimming is the only game he knows how to play. The day the world broke you are 31. The thing everyone fears happens, a layoff sweep. Half the office is gone by noon. You and Ryan, the guy who started the same week as you 10 years ago, both get the email. Ryan is panicked. He has the BMW, the nice apartment, and the designer watch, but he has 0 months of breathing room. He takes a worse job at a worse company just because rent is due on Friday. You have 7 years of saying no sitting in your drawer. You don't panic. You make a choice that looks like a total defeat to the outside world. You move back in with your parents. Your neighbors see you moving boxes into your childhood bedroom at age 31, and they whisper. They think you've lost everything. Ryan still looks like he's making it because he's still in his apartment, even if he's funding the image with a hole that's getting deeper every day. But in that childhood bedroom, you realize the truth. Your savings aren't just a number, they are time. You can afford to wait for the right job, not just the first job. For the first time in your life, you have options. A flat tire is no longer a crisis. It's a Tuesday errand. A bad boss is no longer a cage. It's a situation you can walk away from. The word no. You are 35. You have $250,000 invested. You're back at a new job, but the you that shows up to work is different. You drive a 2019 Toyota that you paid for in cash. It owes you nothing. The man in the Tesla next to you in traffic is screaming into his phone, his face red with stress. He can't afford that car, and you can see the debt written in the veins of his neck. You check your account. You are now making $10,000 a year just for existing. That pays for your car, your insurance, and your gas. Every mile you drive is free. At $500,000, the math stops being theoretical and starts being a superpower. Your boss walks into your office on a Friday afternoon. He's sweating. He needs you to stay late to fix a mess you didn't create. You used to say yes immediately. It was a reflex born of fear. This time, you wait 3 seconds. You feel something you've never felt before. You feel optional. You say yes, but the yes is a choice, not a requirement. You realize that $500,000 doesn't make you a millionaire, but it gives you the most expensive word in the English language. No, the $1 million silence. You are 41. You hit the number, $1 million. You sit at your kitchen table on a Tuesday night and open a tax calculator. You type in $40,000 in qualified dividends. You hit enter. The screen shows one number, 0. Under the current laws, the government takes nothing from your dividend income if you stay under a certain threshold. Your friends with high-salary jobs lose 30% of their paycheck before it even hits their account. They are trading their best hours for taxable income. You are receiving the fruits of your patience, tax-free. The next morning, you go to work. Your boss talks about quarterly goals and stepping up. You nod, you take notes, you participate. Nobody knows. The woman at the desk next to you doesn't know you could leave on Monday, and your life wouldn't change. Your family doesn't know. Ryan, who is still struggling with credit card debt, doesn't know. $1 million doesn't buy a yacht. $1 million buys silence. It's the kind of silence where you can sit in a chair and realize you don't need anyone's permission anymore. Not your bosses, not the government's, and not your past selves. Owning your mornings. You are 44. You have $1.5 million. It pays you $60,000 a year, more than the average American retiree spends, without you ever having to sell a single share of the principal. You read a headline that morning over coffee. Americans say they need $1.46 million to retire comfortably. You look at the number and realize you've already passed it. You walk to your desk, you open your laptop, you write one email, you tell your boss you're done. You don't feel a rush of adrenaline. You don't feel like a hero in a movie. You feel the same way you felt when you were 26 and that first $41 hit your account while you were sleeping. Calm, quiet, sure. You walk outside. The street is busy with people driving to jobs they hate in cars they can't afford to impress people who aren't even looking at them. You think about the kid you were at 24, standing on that used car lot, choosing the dented Corolla. You think about the mockery from Greg, the pity from Rachel, and the doubt you felt in your parents' spare bedroom. You realize that the hardest part of the journey wasn't the boring math or the years of saving. The hardest part was surviving the invisibility. It was the courage to be nobody for a decade so that you could be yourself for the rest of your life. The race doesn't end when you get rich. The race ends the second you stop running for an audience that was never really watching you anyway. You look at the sun hitting the trees, you take a deep breath. You realize that you taught your money how to work so that it could teach you how to live. You own your mornings forever, and nobody ever needed to know.